I surrender all to you, my blessed Savior. I surrender all to you, to you, to you, to you. Hello, my name is Cora Flora, and today I'm making a YouTube video about surrender, and especially the healing power of surrender, and even more than healing, just the power when it comes to manifesting, when it comes to living our dreams, when it comes to moving forward into our highest potential, whatever that means. So that song was a interpretation of a song that is a part of one of my favorite Oprah stories. And I'm going to just tell it to you a little bit, because if you are needing to surrender in your life, this may help you, and I know it will help me to talk about it. So Oprah, the story that I heard on YouTube was that she was obsessed with a book, The Color Purple, and as you can see, so am I. Well, I'm obsessed with the actual color. But anyway, she's obsessed with the book, and she just thought, one day I want to be in the movie. I want to be an actor in the movie. And this was before the Oprah show, so it's not like she could just call someone up and just make it happen. Like, she had to really put out her prayers and put out her manifestation powers, and she would just pray all the time about this and want it to happen. And then these synchronistic things started to happen, where all of a sudden there was an audition that she got invited to, and it was called something else, but when she got there, she read the script and she was like, it's The Color Purple. Like, she knew, because she loved the book so much. And she auditioned, but then she ended up having a couple of roadblocks, like experiences where, like, some of her fears were being reflected in the outside world. Like, some guy had said, like, oh, there's a lot of real actresses going for this part, and then she started to think, oh, well, maybe I'm too fat, or maybe I'm too this or too that, and she had a moment where she had gone to a retreat center, or some kind of, I think it was called like a fat farm, quote unquote. I don't think we have those anymore, or in Canada, or I don't know. But anyways, it was a place that, she was going to lose weight and exercise. And anyways, she was running around the track one day, and she was surrendering. She was singing this song of, I surrender all to you, my blessed Savior. I surrender all. Perhaps a different melody, just got messed up from my own version of it. But in that moment, she was just surrendering it, all of it. Like, even just imagining, like, being happy if some other actress got the part, and being able to feel that sense of release and a sense of just detachment, and surrendering it all to the highest good and giving it all to God. And lo and behold, as soon as she felt that feeling of pure surrender, where she was finally just like, you know what, okay, I let it go completely, like every last layer, that was when all of a sudden she was on this track running, and out comes somebody who's like yelling her name and is like, there's a phone call for you. And it was Steven Spielberg. And he was saying, I want you for the part. You're perfect. I hear you're at a fat farm. Don't lose a pound. If you do, you might lose the part. And so she was so excited. And I love in the story that on the way home, she stopped at Dairy Queen. And I just love that woman. And I love her experience of life, and how she shares it, and how inspiring it is to so many people. But that is the power of surrender. And I'm really feeling blessed to talk about it right now, because I see where I can really benefit from surrender. I mean, depression itself can be a bit of my experience right now is it's like a metamorphosis, like where I am having to fully let go of what I think should happen, or I don't know, just like everything, who I was. It's so deep that I don't even know how to fully explain it. Even earlier today, I went to a vegan festival here in Sarnia, Ontario, Canada, and I left feeling this sadness and loneliness and kind of like alienation. And there were some wonderful friends there, but I don't know, I just started to feel this pain, and instead of like trying to force myself to fit in or to put on a fake face to like navigate the situation, I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna surrender to it, and I'm just gonna flow with this emotion and let it take me where it wants to take me. And it took me home, and it's taking me here to make this video, and that feels good. And like I was kind of saying in my last video yesterday about healing depression with creativity, it's like, for me sometimes it's like everything will go dark, and then it's like, what is the one light? I need to move forward into that one thing that's bringing me light. And right now it's creativity and also videos, so I'm just gonna keep flowing with them and surrendering to that call. But yeah, part of also this depression, like I've had moments of just wanting to be nothing, like wanting to completely surrender everything. And it's interesting because I feel like my human ego experience of it is like, you know, having suicidal thoughts or whatever, which I would never act on, just so you know. I've kind of promised myself I never would, but it's the struggle and the desire to do that has been very strong because the pain has been so intense. And but it's interesting because like I think that that's my human ego interpretation of that, but I kind of feel like on a higher level there's also this sort of like massive shedding in my being where I feel like I'm in metamorphosis, and I'm in that phase between caterpillar and butterfly where I'm kind of like nothing, like all my cells are just like melted together, and I don't know, like I'm not who I was, I'm not yet who I'm becoming, I'm kind of just in this goo of like change. And there's been so many cycles like this for me in my life where I go through a big change, as I'm sure you can relate to, and one of the most important aspects of that is surrender. And sometimes it means completely surrendering what I think I'm supposed to be or what I was, like really just being comfortable in the not knowing, being easy and surrendered to the mystery of the experience. And yeah, it's almost like pressing the reset button and then suddenly just like having a new vibrational tone. So yeah, but I admit sometimes it's hard to surrender. It's hard to surrender attachments, it's hard to surrender desires, it's hard to surrender expectations, but sometimes that's what's meant to happen. And the cool thing on an energetic level that I feel about surrender is that like when we're trying to manifest something, or when there's a dream that we want to make happen and we're struggling with it, kind of like Oprah and the story I shared at the beginning of this video, it's like when we finally release, like I like to think it's almost like if we have some sort of fear that's playing out in our reality, it's like a tug of war, and we might not even know that we have this tug of war and that we're actually creating it. But it's when we fully let go that we're not playing that game anymore, and we might be in a nothing point of like, you know, where it's just kind of energy and it's not necessarily yes or no, it's just kind of like in that reset point. That's actually a really powerful place to be, and that's really a place where the universe can respond more powerfully and with you in complete harmony with what's flowing in the highest good. So hopefully that made sense. And yeah, thanks for everybody with the supportive comments on my last video. I really appreciate it. I think I'm gonna make videos the next little while because it feels good, and like I said, creativity is like the only thing that's helping me like feel like better in these times of depression and alienating pain and loneliness. But yeah, in the past, music has always been my creative thing, and now I'm just exploring other things and seeing what happens and what opens up. So thank you for listening, and I hope this encourages you to surrender if that's what you need to do in whatever way serves your highest good.